day, everyone, and welcome to the 19th edition of the group exhibit Hydrogen Fuel Cell here at the HANNOVER MESSE 2013. My name is Mariella Nie, but I invite you to come and join the floor. Drinks on the house, so it's perfect time to have a little discussion about fuel cells. We'll be discussing today economic opportunities for hydrogen and fuel cell companies in the USA, Northeast Connecticut. I have with me today Laura Jaworski, Office of International and Domestic Business Development, State of Connecticut, as well as Joel Rinebold, Director of Energy Initiative with the Connecticut Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Coalition. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Marie.
We've seen, for those that took a good tour around the fair, there's quite a few companies from Connecticut this year, as well as the northeast parts of the U.S. What would you say, like, it's quite a good representation. What is the significance of all these companies being here and for connecting Connecticut, the fuel cell and hydrogen industry? How does what significance the fuel cell and hydrogen industry has in Connecticut?
Right. Well, we do have a number of industries in the state here, in the state of Connecticut, and as well as in the Northeast United States region. We've got original equipment manufacturers and a number of the supply chain companies. These are component manufacturers. Some of them are include researchers, even the legal industry that could be involved in patent protection, and the finance industry that could provide some funding for some of the projects. So what this provides is a diversified supply chain cluster for us to move projects from research, education, development of a workforce, and into advanced manufacturing for product development. And those products are intended to serve global markets. So there are a number of the companies here with us today. And
well, I think Laura would like to add a point
here. And I think in a big picture sense, it signifies that Connecticut is really home to an environment that's ripe for innovation and high-tech companies. We're an R&D hub. We have a tremendous amount of scientists and engineers per capita, and a state that churns out a tremendous amount of patents per employees, and a population that has a advanced level of degrees in terms of their educational attainment. So I think from a big picture sense, our snapshot of companies that are here with us in the hall, in Hall 27, stand D72, really signify that Connecticut is home to innovation.
So it's home to innovation, but could you give us a little bit of a sense of a size of how many companies in the fuel cell industry are in Connecticut, and what type are they?
Sure. In Connecticut, we've got 10 original equipment manufacturers. Some of them are represented today, and there's 600 companies in the supply chain. Regionally, there's 1,200 companies with about 20 original equipment manufacturers, OEMs. So it is significant, and they range from some of the service companies, educational, workforce development, legal, finance, but some of the companies that are with us today include Dexmet, who makes some of the electrolyte materials. We've got Clear Edge, Precision Combustion, Engineered Fibers Technology, Skinner, Advent, Proton on Site, Fuel Cell Energy, and our government, the state of Connecticut.
So if I direct this question to Laura, there's quite a wide range. We heard Clear Edge and Proton, and name them. The list is long, and there's quite a few more back in the corner. Why is Connecticut such a hub for those companies, for the fuel cell industry?
I think it speaks to the quality of the workforce and the highly educated, outstanding workforce that Connecticut has, whereby these companies are comfortable entering our state, knowing that they'll be able to produce these products with support from state government and obtain and achieve high quality precise products because we're home to scientists and engineers. We're home to R&D. We're home to the type of population that can produce the products that these companies have the desire to make in Connecticut. And that extends to several industries outside the emerging technologies of fuel cells. We're also a big hub to aerospace and defense, bioscience, biotechnology, genomics, and then several industries in the financial and services sector. But all of these share a common characteristic in that they're all high technology fields. This is something that we really excel in. Anything that centers around knowledge jobs. Connecticut is known for being a hub of knowledge jobs. There's a great study that's out there that is produced by the Kauffman Foundation that ranks the 50 United States in terms of where they stack up against one another in the knowledge economy, which is a phrase we're hearing a lot these days. How is everybody doing in an interconnected global economy? And Connecticut fares very well, not only in terms of its global orientation and its internationalization, but in some of those other key characteristics that I mentioned earlier: knowledge jobs, scientists, engineers, patents, new to enter companies, gazelle markets. It's really a place that's known for high-tech jobs and companies. And I think we have the state resources in place to help these companies not only form their business, but really grow and succeed.
And if we go back to ranking and patents, and I'll open the question to either of you, I believe a fuel cell industry in the United States is quite vibrant, and it can be represented by this ranking and its number of patents being issued. Maybe Joel, you can expand on that, on the fact that it's such a... or Laura.
Connecticut is as Laura said, an innovative state, and it does rank number 2 in sales, number 8 in patents, and number 5 in scientists and researchers. So, we're consistently ranked and scored very high in business support, workforce for patents, research, scientists, and technology.
And if I was a German company or another different European company that wished to enter the U.S. market, there's twofold to this question. Why choose Connecticut? And what kind of services does the state offers to help that entry?
Sure, that's a great question. That's part of the reason we're here today, is to promote the Connecticut as the place in the United States to do business. For companies looking to enter the United States market, Connecticut is a state that has competitive advantages that won't be found elsewhere. We have a strategic location that's in the heart of the United States business corridor with ready access to not only markets, whether they're other markets in the United States, Canada, but also access to partners and suppliers. Our strategic location bodes very well for the state in that it also ties in very nicely to our transportation networks and access to financial markets in New York City as well. I spoke earlier about our educated and dynamic workforce and how productive that is, and that's really a reason that makes Connecticut very, very attractive. It's the workforce. It's our human capital that makes us a strategic location that one would want to locate in. We have access to universities. We have over 45 universities and institutions of higher education, ranging from universities such as Yale University all the way down to the community college system that really works very well with the companies that are in our state. And then we also have a wonderful team of business experts at my agency, the Department of Economic and Community Development, who work with the company from project inception to project completion. We call it our concierge program, and it's more than a one-stop shop of resources. It's working with you to match your company's needs and objectives to our programs and services, whether that's in the realm of technical assistance, financial assistance, working with partners such as Joel at the Connecticut Center for Advanced Technology, the federal government, chambers of commerce. We work with the company from not only the technical and financial point of view, but also on operational efficiencies, helping them improve their lean processes, helping them access workforce training if that's necessary, regulatory issues, permitting issues. We have a permit ombudsman in our office who serves as a liaison to other agencies that a company may need to enter. So we really think that Connecticut has it all, not only in terms of its location and people, but also the types of business resources that our agency can offer through the concierge program.
And there's proof too, and that is the businesses are succeeding. Revenues are up, sales are up. Revenues are now exceed $1 billion, and it's growing. So it's emerging industry. It's an emerging industry, but it's going in the right direction.
And it's probably emerging because it's receiving so much support from the Connecticut state. And from what you're discussing here, it really sounds like if I'm a company and I have anything where I don't have the expertise or I feel I don't have enough information, I can really have one point of contact.
One point of contact, absolutely. And we will link you up, we will work with you, and we will work with you from A to Z, project inception to project completion, and then on the follow-up to make sure that everything is going smoothly for your company. We want you to grow. We want you to expand. We like to think of Connecticut as a place where you innovate, work smarter, and succeed. And we're here at the Department of Economic and Community Development and the Connecticut Center for Advanced Technology to help ensure that you do so.
Connecticut also offers quite a few tax credit and special program for whether R&D and things like that. Joel, could you give us more information, or maybe Laura, on that?
Sure. In a big picture sense, our agency will look at a company's project scope, and yes, things are prioritized upon the growth and the job creation that is attached to that project. But our agency offers everything from low-interest loans, grants, loan guarantees, working capital, putting companies in touch with venture capital, making sure that there's training dollars that are available. We like to think that we're funding for the future. We want you to succeed, and we will use our network of resources, whether they're within our agency, with our partner organizations, with our banking community, and other members of the lending community in Connecticut, to make sure that we are putting together a customized package of assistance. None of the programs in Connecticut are off the shelf. We really sit and take a time to learn what a company does and what they need to tailor a package of programs that are going to help you achieve your objectives, going to help you reach your job targets and your facility targets. And yes, sometimes that does include financial assistance, and I'm happy to speak to that further to anybody in the audience who has questions. And we do have information available on all these programs and services back in our booth in D72.
Yeah, and again, this is a public forum, so be welcomed. You're welcome to ask questions. Just raise your hand, and I'll come down with a microphone. Now a question for Joel regarding why fuel cell and hydrogen in Connecticut over any other place in the world?
Well, first of all, we've recognized that there's a significant market here, and we've made those market opportunities available for companies that exist and companies that want to move in. We've done market analysis. We provide assistance for business development, patent development, and we work directly, as Laura said, with those companies. We know there's a strong market for this industry. We know there's competition. We know there's other technologies out there, but the hydrogen fuel cell industry is the one technology that brings it all together. For example, wind. I mean, we think wind is a terrific technology, but we know we're going to need hydrogen and fuel cell technology to provide the energy storage. We know that there's a terrific alternative fuels, including biodiesel and ethanol. But it's the hydrogen fuel that will provide zero emissions, high efficiency, and we'll have a global market. So we have assessed the markets. We looked at and we understand the markets for the developed nations, and we also are starting to look at some of the markets for the undeveloped nations. And we know that within the next 12, 13 years, we're going to add a billion people to the population, and these people are going to be looking for clean, stable energy for heat, power, and transportation.
So the states really see the value in the future in this industry. And earlier today, I had a discussion with one of the representative or market analysts from Fuel Cell today, and we kind of ran out of time and just barely touched about fuel cell electrical vehicle entry into the United States, and we didn't have time to expand. So I'm kind of using this opportunity because you're right. From the United States, you have a on-the-ground experience and view of the whole thing. So when do you think fuel cell electric vehicle will enter the overall market in the U.S. and is it just around the corner? Are we looking at a couple of years before they're fully deployed?
The vehicles are in the United States now, and some of the vehicles are being driven by people, including myself. I go to a refueling station that's operated by Proton on site. I take my credit card, I put it in, I fuel up my vehicle, and I drive away. What we do expect to see, much more robust deployment within 2, maybe 3 years. Late 2015, we expect a substantially larger number of the automotive OEMs to start delivering vehicles for deployment. We are working with industry to try to coordinate some of those refueling stations. So when the vehicles come, they'll have refueling stations to fuel up their vehicles.
So before we get back to the infrastructure, you're a lucky man. You get to drive a hydrogen car every day. I wish I could say the same. And you have a refueling station nearby. Is this only a phenomenon in Connecticut, though, or it's across the U.S.?
We're seeing some clustered development in some specific regions. I think the Northeast is one of those regions where we'll have some
bigger activities, maybe?
Bigger activities. It'll be more robust. It'll be rolled out more quickly. And I think some of that is because of the coordination. We also expect our friends in California to be rolling out near the same time we are. And there's also some other areas in the U.S. that we expect to be rolling out vehicles and refueling. And this rollout will be consistent, I think, with some of the rollout you see in Germany, Japan, Asia, and some of the other strong markets.
So you don't think you'll be behind? You think you'll be right in line?
I think it'll be right in line.
And do you think the California air quality legislature is what is kind of leading this push towards hydrogen economy?
I think that's one of the strong drivers. I mean, it's arguably, either the first or second driver. Certainly the zero emission requirements is a very strong driver. Also the CAFE requirements for high efficiency will be a strong driver. And, also it's going to be the cost of operation. Right now petroleum fuels are volatile. It costs a lot of money, and I think a lot of people are looking to increase their transportation freedom with fueling and technology that is predictable. And hydrogen will be able to deliver that. It's not going to be based on political manipulation.
There's less security issue because you can produce it at the point of demand or in-house or in the country.
Absolutely. We know the technology. We know how to make hydrogen. We know how to produce it, store it, and dispense it. And it's not going to be dependent on a few countries that are controlling the market.
And coming back, go ahead, Laura.
I just echo that comment. It's good public policy to move forward with that technology.
And to come back to the infrastructure, what is Connecticut doing to set a full set of hydrogen infrastructure in the state?
Well, right now we are working with the OEMs, the automotive OEMs, the hydrogen OEMs, our federal U.S. DOE, and the other companies and organizations in the supply chain to coordinate the deployment of hydrogen refueling with the vehicles. So we meet on a regular basis, and we expect some of this to be rolled out as a national initiative with some regional areas moving sooner rather than later. We've put together some roadmap documents that identify fleets, alternative refueling, preferred locations for refueling, and where some of the fleet vehicles for the hydrogen would come out first. So these have been developed. We've got copies at our booth, and I'd be happy to show people the approach we've used.
Well, I invite actually the floor to join Laura and Joel back at their booth after the interview, which is located at D72, which is just behind us on the way to the technical forum. And I'm sure they'll be happy to distribute more information and copies concerning the state and what they're all doing for us. Please help me thank them for their time. I think it was a great interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marie.
We hope to see you next year again.
Yes, thank you.
And this finished the public forum for today. So thank you for your attention, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.